No worries. Always pay it forward. That's my motto, you know? Because at any given moment, one of us could need a helping hand. Like now, you two, total strangers. You know we're short on cash, and then someone just steps out of the blue and helps out in a totally random way, am I right?
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We got a whole bunch of DC news to talk about. The Flash just confirmed that Nora Allen is going to be a series regular, meaning she'll be in most of the episodes, so some big upgrades for Nora. But we also got our first look at Cheetah on the set of Wonder Woman 2. And we found out which version of the character she's going to be playing. I know there's a lot of theories about the villain, about Pedro Pascal playing one of the other gods like Hades or Apollo, so we'll break all that stuff down. If you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get everything. There's going to be a bunch of stuff dropping this summer, but there's also a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. I'll be sure to name a new winner at the end of this. The big thing with Nora is that the season is built around her mistake. We all knew that she was coming back, but it was a question of how many episodes she was going to be in and how they were going to use her. Like, it's all in the execution. They did a good job of setting it up at the end of season 4, but now they have to pay that off. Like, you actually have to do a really good job of showing us what her mistake was and making that really interesting. Virtually everyone's in agreement that her mistake has something to do with her messing with the timeline, but not quite in the same way that Barry did. So we're calling it Nora Point or Flashpoint 2.0, but it's not quite the same type of problem. But the Flash people already said that it's specifically tied to each of the members of Team Flash, which is why she came back to visit them. Like, she visited Caitlin, she came back to the wedding to see Barry and Iris get married, she met Cisco, an elongated man, she even came back to see Cecile and Joe. So it's kind of a Back to the Future style twist, where like she messes with things. Her little future picture changes as she changes things, and she did something really bad. Now it's so bad that she's come back to get Barry's help. Because even though they haven't been really clear on exactly what her powers are, what her intelligence level is, the way she came across, like when she was writing all those Speed Force symbols, was fairly intelligent. Like, even though she's from the future, this still seems like pretty advanced stuff. So what was Barry called the first time they introduced him on Arrow, the scientist? She is probably just like Barry in that regard. So the apple does not fall very far from the super smart nerd tree. And actually, that soundtrack that they use when they introduce her on screen that sounds exactly like when they introduced Barry, that's called The Scientist. That music cue was also one of the reasons why I was convinced that she was going to be related to Barry. It was just a question of how she was going to be related to him. I've already done a couple videos about what I think Nora's mistake is and how it's tied to the futures of the members of Team Flash. Like, something very bad happens to Cecile and Joe because she's like, enjoy the time you have while you have it. She pauses on that line like, oh yeah, something definitely bad happens to them in the future, which is why she's taking the risk of breaking the timeline by coming back to see them. Killer Frost, obviously pretty easy slam dunk. She probably becomes a pretty bad villain in the future, which is why Nora doesn't seem like she likes her that much. But the only thing we don't know is what Harrison Wells is going to be like, which version he's going to be, because they did imply it would be another one from somewhere else in the multiverse that we haven't seen before. So the only thing I will say about that is that it is not going to be the new version of the Reverse Flash, because he said that he would have a different face. Like, I just did a video about Reverse Flash in season 5. So all really awesome stuff. But now, you want to talk about Cheetah and Wonder Woman 2. There was a set video with her doing wire work. If you didn't see it, this is what it is. I know it makes it seem like she's riding in the invisible jet down the freeway in Washington, D.C., but that's just them practicing wire work for her jumping really fast or moving really fast. Remember, the way Wonder Woman moves is a little bit different from the way Superman moves or the way the Flash moves. There's a scene that they're filming right now with all this chaos on the freeway, and she's obviously helping out because she's Wonder Woman, so she's just moving around really fast trying to save people, and that's what the wires are for. But it gives you a much better look at what her suit looks like when she walks onto set. I did a video about that too, like about how they really cranked up the color on it so it's way brighter, way shinier. It's just so the colors pop that much more on screen. But the really big deal is we got our very first look at Cheetah in the flesh, like literally in the flesh, because she's not wearing any kind of cheetah costume. So if you didn't know, Kristen Wiig is playing the Cheetah character. They confirmed that she's playing the Dr. Barbara Ann Minerva version of the character. That's the third one. And obviously Kristen Wiig doesn't look anything like a cheetah. They might be doing the New 52 or the Rebirth origin story for the character. They sort of reworked it again more recently during Rebirth, where she starts out as Wonder Woman's friend and fascinated by ancient cultures. She starts to learn how to speak Themysciran. She becomes an expert on their history and then eventually leads an expedition to Africa. So she falls prey to another tribe that's trying to gain access to Themyscira. So like another villain acting on the orders of Ares' son. So Ares like has his own demigod son, tries to turn Dr. Minerva into a demigod so that she can gain access to Themyscira, so that Ares' son can gain access to Themyscira, because remember, it's still hidden from the world. So they turn Minerva into the Cheetah character, but she gets this crazy bloodlust and it goes off the rails, and she becomes this more tragic version of the villain. But I wouldn't be surprised if they pull from all the different comics eras. But if you do want to read Cheetah's backstory, you can read the original version. It's Wonder Woman Volume 2, Number 7. Then more recently, the Rebirth run, because the Rebirth version involves Steve Trevor, and they're using him in the movie, which is why I think they might be leaning more into the Rebirth version of her origin story. But the other big rumor is about Pedro Pascal's character. People think that he's playing one of the other gods like Hades or Apollo, but also per the Rebirth story, he could also be like Wonder Woman, be the son of one of the gods and be a demigod with her level of power. That's still more of a rumor because we haven't seen him doing anything on set yet. It'll probably be a little while, but if you see him on wires flying around, then you know that he's probably also got god level power like Wonder Woman too. But I think what they want to do for the sequel is sort of avoid that third act problem that they had when she started fighting Ares on the strip and it turned into this big morass of CG and everything kind of went sideways. There were some bits of that were good, but I think most people agree that that's one of the weakest parts of the film. So I think that they're trying to do better villains for the sequel. So you have that through Kristen Wiig's Cheetah character, more of a tragic villain. But remember, it's Wonder Woman, there are gods in this, so there's also probably going to be some god-level stuff happening, which might be through the Pedro Pascal character. So I didn't say it, but obviously it should go without saying, I do think that Kristen Wiig will become the literal Cheetah character during the movie, and she'll look like comic book Cheetah. So she starts out looking like a human, but through her origin story, becomes imbued with the Cheetah power. But what'll happen is they dropped a whole bunch of footage, so I have a Westworld finale trailer that I do. There's new Ant-Man and the Wasp footage and a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. I'll break that down too. Maybe 2 more videos today, maybe just 1. Anything I don't get to tonight, I'll just post tomorrow, so no worries. But congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Mr. Wicked. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. Click here for more new Flash Season 5, and click here for that Wonder Woman 2 suit teaser. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.